at least this would have been better than, let's say, Cavern Escape.
That's a hell of a low bar, man.
Buyer's Remorse.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
On Buyer's Remorse, we like to make each other play a game that's been sitting in our library we've bought and we've never played it. And we're going to play it and I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do that again.
Okay, go for it.
So, on Buyer's Remorse... No, I won't say it like that. On Buyer's Remorse, we take a game that's sitting in our library, unplayed, and we make each other play it. Or we make the other person play it. We don't make each other play it. That would be silly. I choose a game for Justin, and he plays it. Right. What did I pick for you to play this time?
Man, that's all gonna just stay. I want people to know. I want them to know the truth. When we joke about how you do your introductions, I want them to know. Alien Spidy, that's the game I played for today.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes.
I did pick this up. You said this to me. I was like, nope. I'm not touching that.
Oh, maybe you've missed out. You won't know until...
I did see the store page. I was like, yeah, that's not for me.
Developed by Enigma SP, published by Casino Games.
Well, they're really famous, yeah. I know them well.
It is from back in 2013. All reviews are mixed, with only 40 reviews.
2013? It's quite an old game then.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's $10 a base, with 2 DLC that are $2 each. I will warn people before you play, there is a finish screen at the end of every map, at the end of every level, where there is a really harsh flashing bit that really just should not be. Even me, who is not that affected by it, I was turning away. I did not like it. But beware. Flashing lights, heed this warning seriously. The game, it's going to open with a cute cutscene of Alien Spidy of Arachnia, of course, taking off in a spaceship, and then my game crashed.
Great.
And it crashed in a way that, because I was playing full screen, I couldn't get out of the screen, so I had to restart my computer. And I'm keeping that as part of my time playing this game. Redo the cutscene the second time, it was no problem. So I'm going to say just anecdotal evidence here.
Yep.
50-50 shot, you make it through the cutscene. Basically what happens is Spidey's ship is going to have problems, going to crash on Earth. Spidey's going to caress a picture of his Spidey girlfriend, and because of that, we know he must get home. This is the type of game where there's a series of maps with nodes for each level.
Okay.
Super Meat Boy style.
Mm-hmm.
Except this is not Super Meat Boy. Though I could understand why you wouldn't want to play this one.
Yeah.
It's basically about finishing a level. You have to get to the circle, which is sort of like a teleport at the end.
Okay.
And the faster you do it, the more points you get, the better, right? You can get up to 3 stars per level.
I was going to ask, is it one of those star rating games?
Though I don't think that it really matters as far as opening anything.
Right.
I never ran into the situation, at least on the first map, and I didn't finish the first map. The map is pretty big. There's a lot of levels. I didn't run into that situation where, you have to have 50 stars to get to the next level.
Right.
Maybe that happens later, but I didn't come across it. The whole first map seems to be completely unlocked.
Okay.
You just have to... Well, I don't know if it's completely unlocked or you have to just make it to the end of each one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about points. I don't really care about getting the 3 stars. So that aspect of the game, I just find irritating. It doesn't really matter to me. I just want to get through. I'm fine with the platforming to get through.
But at least it didn't affect, like you said, at least it didn't affect your, getting to the next level or something like that. Yeah, I hate it when the games do that.
No, that would have definitely ruined it. At least this would have been better than, let's say, Cavern Escape.
That's a hell of a low bar, man.
It is. But that's kind of what we've done here before. It's definitely better than that, but it does have some issues. The jumping feels very floaty. Mm-hmm. The controls, they just aren't as tight as I feel they ought to be. The big thing about this game, I think, making it a spider that is going through the platforming is that you can shoot webs to swing on things, but the accuracy of it just doesn't feel right. I'm constantly missing what I'm supposed to be hitting. That can be really detrimental to what I'm trying to do as far as getting to the next platform, getting to the next part, avoiding danger.
Right.
As far as danger, let's go ahead and talk about a few of those things. We've got things that kill you instantly, but somewhat Super Meat Boy style. You start back just at a checkpoint. So you don't go through the whole level like you would with Meat Boy, but there are checkpoints you constantly hit as you're passing through, and you go back to that one. So it's kind of like, oh, you missed that jump, go back to before that jump and what you needed. You have so many things that will just kill you instantly. You've got thorns, you've got water dropping on you that will kill you, and I hated that one. Anytime there's water drips, just the timing of getting through I found incredibly irritating. You've got creatures like a bat that will grab you out of the air and eat you unless you drop a bit of fruit like an apple on his head.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think you drop the apple on his head. I think you drop it and then it eats that instead. And while it's eating that, you have enough time to swing through.
I mean, how do the levels look? Are they all like miniature garden kind of stuff, or is it?
Yeah, I would go with that.
Okay.
It's sort of... They've chosen a nighttime aspect, at least for the first map.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things are sort of dark. You've got things in silhouette. You've got basically going through like a tree.
Okay. Right.
Your actual spider size, that's why a bat can grab you. So you're bouncing over mushrooms that will kill you instantly. Yeah, like I said, the thorns you have to go over. So the first map, I think, is a forest. So it's going to have that kind of aesthetic, whereas the other maps are going to be different places.
Where does the alien... Why could they not just call it Spidey? Why does it have to be an alien Spidey? Is there anything that sets it apart from regular spiders?
2 reasons. I think 1, to give it a story.
Right. Okay.
And 2, yes. So we need to talk about power-ups. Really annoying the way that they've chosen to do it. You have to grab the energy to use the power-up, and then you have to get to the power-up. So we have things like... Okay, you're giving me a confused look, so let me try again. You have a ball of energy, a power-up, that you have to pick up as you're running through.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost always right next to the actual power-up. Most power-ups are one use. Some things like super jump, you can use multiple times, but you have to jump into the energy to get another jump.
Okay.
So I think that's why they've done it, is that occasionally, or for some of them, they want you to be able to use the power more than once. Whereas in my mind, I'm thinking, why did you overcomplicate things? Just have it be another power-up that you pick up.
Yeah.
Don't have 2 things here. You only need 1. So just give me the double jump, and that would be fine. Or super jump. The thing with this game, though, is it feels like a game for speedrunners. You want to get it timed perfectly. You want to run through. You want to get those 3 stars. I don't like those games. It's just not for me. I want to do it once and then be done with it. I'm fine with that. It's just not my style to want to do that. I haven't found a lot of games where I'd want to speedrun it. And this is certainly not that. I think the controls being a bit off, so much instant death.
I was going to say, the controls for a game like this have to be top-notch for it to work. Because even for a game like that, the controls are at least quite good for that, and it's very responsive. So it's not like as good as that then.
No, it's definitely not as good as that. But I put that one in very high regard. This one does not get that. It's not perfect. Like I said, one of the things I found the most frustrating was getting the web to hit and swing properly.
Right.
There are bugs you can, like ladybugs that are floating there ready for you to attach to and swing. There are flowers that spin like a windmill. So if you jump up and you're coming down and you hit the web, you can ride it all the way down and get momentum to jump up on the next platform.
Okay.
There's some clever stuff that they do with that that's not really, I think, original, but it fits and it kind of works if you can get that web shooting down, if you get it to exactly where you need to do it. And that's where people who play this over and over again, they will get that. And definitely for young kids who are going to, if they love this, play it over and over again until they get the 3 stars and try to perfect it. They know how to get through, but will they get through with enough points?
Right.
For any player like that, yeah, this game can work, especially if you're getting it for free, as I did, or super cheap, which I'm sure that it must go. It's just not my style. I don't want to be perfect. So every drop of water that hits me and sends me back to the checkpoint, frustrating. The fact that it takes my points away every time I die, frustrating. The fact that if you don't get the superpower, you have to go back to the checkpoint because there's no other way to do this section, and that loses you power.
Man.
That is just not my type of game.
Punishing.
Yes, that's what it feels like. It's very punishing. They try to make it interesting with things like there's blue circles that you have to get points with. There's giant ones you can get, which are worth a lot. If you get 5 of the tiny ones in a row, you get a bonus. It's like 2,000, I think, for that. The big ones are worth 6,000. If you hit red circles, you lose points. So you have to swing perfectly through so that you're getting the blue ones and not the red ones. It's not a bad game.
Sounds like it might be, though.
I don't think it's a bad game, but I definitely think that it's not a game for me.
So who is it for, then?
Like I said, it's for people who love speedrunning. It's for people who want a challenging platformer, maybe with these kind of bonus things. So I already told you about the super jump. There's also the floaty thing. So when you're going down, you can sort of move Spidey slowly around and avoid dangers that way. It's definitely for players like that. This is just not my style. So I definitely wouldn't recommend it to you because this is not your style either.
No.
You are not typically a platformer anyway, and this would just be very frustrating as you lose points. I mean, I definitely would recommend it, to play on the podcast or on a stream to entertain people. Yeah. But I don't think that you will actually enjoy this game. And to make it worse, like the one last thing that I would say as far as what I don't like is there are some times where the checkpoints are really bad. There is one part in particular where there is a hedgehog just standing there and will shoot out quills. As I would respawn, the quills could hit me. Oh. As I'm trying to swing around and get away from the hedgehog, the web would sometimes attach to a quill instead of what I was aiming at. And so when the quill would fall, so would Spidey, and basically have to start over. This section, this hedgehog one, was just awful. I hated it so much. And it's probably a good thing that isn't where I ended. If I had ended the hour on that, I definitely would have just come in here angry and raging. But I made it through, I think, 2 more levels. Levels are fairly short, fairly easy. I don't remember exactly how many I got through, but enough that I felt like I was definitely progressing. I've not gone back, though. I played this 2 weeks ago, and I have not gone back. So to answer your first question, probably not. No. I probably won't go back to play again. Yeah. Oh, no, I did write it down, actually. After 1 hour, I made it to level 1-10 bounce time, which I did not like bounce time. That was pretty bad.
Why was bounce time so bad?
Well, I already told you that the jumping feels a bit floaty. And when you're bouncing, you have to bounce off of particular, say, mushrooms, but not the poisonous ones. Okay. And if you touch the poisonous ones in between, you're going to die. There are also things like rocks or nuts or something that are falling down as well, and they are bouncing as well, and you have to avoid hitting them while also landing in the right spot with enough momentum to get to the next bounce. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Sounds complicated.
It's not. I mean, if you saw it for 5 seconds, you would know what's going on, but actually making it work is complicated.
Yeah. So, will you ever go back to it, though? Would you ever like to see Spidey get back to his arachnid girlfriend?
I think I'd gladly watch you play it. I'd probably watch somebody else do it. I mean, I love watching speedrunners at their best. So Games Done Quick on Twitch. Like, that's one of the few channels that I actually subscribe to when they do sort of marathon sessions, constant, oh, okay, this guy's going for a record with, this qualifications. I don't like to sit there and watch 3 hours of it. But the shorter games and watching the way they manipulate glitches and the way they just time everything perfectly, you're seeing experts at a game, which is something that I am never and will probably never be because I have 1,000 other games to play and that's what I want to do.
Literally another 1,000 to play. So what tags would you end up giving this then?
I would give this platformer, cute, and web swinging, because the swinging is pretty much the only thing that makes this different from any of the other sort of platformers.
Right. And I don't know. I don't know what you're going to say. Is this going to be an awesome Remorse or a terrible Confirmation?
I didn't pay anything for it. I just played it for an hour. I think for an hour, it was fun to jump into a platformer and not really worry too much about it. I think if I was having to play the whole game, I would feel very differently.
Right.
Because the game was getting much harder and the problems with the game were showing much more as I played. But just to play it for an hour and put it away, that for me, Confirmation.
Buyer's Confirmation.
Damn.